Colter, we know that in Montana there's a lot of hunters, a lot of gun enthusiasts, so you might as well shop local when you're looking for your next firearm or accessory, huh?
Selway Armory, they got the best prices around and the best service you'll find anywhere. As the guys over there will tell you, shop with Selway Armory for a year. We guarantee you'll save some money.
The other thing is they have great knowledge. There's a lot of questions that people have about the right styles and types to suit them and what it is that they're trying to do, and all the guys over at Selway Armory know their firearms and ammunition and accessories inside and out.
With locations in both Missoula and Bozeman, Selway Armory has some specialty products as well, including full Sig Sauer inventory for your best in handguns and much, much more.
Like Colter said, 2 brick-and-mortar locations, one in Missoula, one in Bozeman, and also online, tremendous inventory there. They'll ship everything you want, SelwayArmory.com.
Danny, take us through the process. I mean, what was the last couple weeks like for you, and now actually experiencing this moment? What was that part like for you?
It was emotionally exhausting, to be honest. Like, as soon as it opened up, I mean, it was like I immediately knew I wanted to get involved. These jobs are so hard. There's only 352 of them in the whole country, and you have to be the right fit at that school, and you have to have the right president, you have to have the right AD, and the people around the job that make it a good job. And that's what Montana State has. President Cruzado, Leon. I mean, they're as good as it gets in Division I athletics. And I think people around the country know that. I'm super excited to work with them, but I mean, it was crazy. Flying up to Salt Lake, and you get up at 6 a.m., you fly up, put your suit on, and you're sitting around the table. There's 8 people just grilling, and I mean, it's nerve-wracking. It really is, and especially when you're so passionate about it, you don't want to screw up. And but it was great. They made me feel comfortable. I'm sure I was terrible answering some of the questions, but they got me through it. And then obviously coming to campus last week, it's amazing seeing all the new buildings and everything in Bozeman. I mean, it's blowing up. I think people have known about Bozeman for a long time, but I think really now the secret's out, and it's just going to keep booming. And I mean, the campus is 17,000 people. I think when I went here, it was like 11. And so I mean, it's almost a 35-40% increase, and I don't see that slowing down.
Danny, this was so emotional for you. I'm just wondering how you might put into words what this moment here was like for you.
It was. I can't put it into words. I mean, it's because it's about everybody else. It wasn't even about me. Like, I'm super elated, ecstatic to be here, but if it wasn't for everybody in that room, I wouldn't be here. From the players, my parents, my nieces, nephews, I mean, old boosters, fans, the Austins, I mean, just everybody. I mean, if it wasn't for them, there's no way I'd be here. And it was almost my way of, there's no other way to express it other than to get emotional. And just thanking them.
You mentioned that you dreamed of being the head coach here. I guess, do you remember maybe how far that goes back, kind of when that idea kind of started?
Probably right when I started coaching at Northridge. I mean, my dad was always big on goal setting, and even when I played, I'd have each year my career goals, like everything, and he'd remind me of. I'd post them on my mirror when I was little and things like that. And one of our managers at Northridge, my first couple of years, just reminded me last night. He texted me and he said, "I'm so proud of you. Like, I remember going into your office and seeing your goals above your desk, and the top goal was to be a head coach. But back then it was to be a head coach by the age of 30. That obviously didn't happen. But it just took me a little longer, but I got there. But I think it's important because it was just, I always had it in the back of my mind, and I always knew kind of in my heart that it would be here."
You mentioned some of the great players that you played with, and a lot of those guys from Montana. Do you have any gauge on just the level of talent in the state right now, and if you can recapitalize on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's talent in the state. You got to find the right guys, and you got to develop them. But I think Montana kids are hungry. They're culture kids. They love the state. They love to come play at Montana State University. They take an immense amount of pride. I mean, talking to even Caleb on the phone, like, even when the coaching change happens, he said, "I don't care. I'm going to Montana State University." And to me that meant a lot. Like, that's awesome. Those are the type of kids that I want, whether they're from Montana or not. I want kids that want to come to Montana State University for the academics and just to be here because they love it.
Everyone keeps talking about obviously why they wanted you here. Why did you want it?
Was it my mom telling everybody? I wanted to be here, to be closer to my family. I've been away for 19 years. My little sister's kids, you see them all running around, all 7 of them. But I mean, they're growing up, and it's hard not being around them. I see them twice a year, maybe a couple days in the summer, and 2 days at Christmas. But now I can, spend Sunday dinners with them and things like that. And, my parents, obviously, there's nothing like, the game won't start to me until I see them in the crowd. That's when the real game starts. And my aunts and uncles, just people that have supported me the whole time, and my friends, and my best friends that came today. Like, it's important to me to represent them, and play in front of them, coach in front of them, and do all those things, and to have them and have them have my back. And it's important to me.
You mentioned being away for almost 20 years. On a personal level, what was it like living in Southern California? And
it was awesome.
Awesome.
I love it. I mean, it's hopefully one day I can live down there in the winters and up here in the summers in about 30, 40 years. But I mean, I had just such great relationships down there with people. I mean, it was great to me. It was great to me, just the people I met, the experiences I had, and the weather doesn't hurt either. But it's a fabulous place to live.
You mentioned putting the staff together. I guess, what is your plan going forward with that?
I'm going to talk to the coaches that were here, and I'm going to give them a fair shot. I really like those guys. I know them, and I know they work hard. And I want to see if their vision matches mine. And if it does, then I'll keep it. But if it doesn't, then obviously I got to, I have other people that I'm talking to. I mean, I've been preparing for this, for a long time, and talking to different people and vetting different people. And I know what I want, and I have a pretty good sense of who they are and what they're about.
And lots of references to the 80s and the 90s when you were here, what it was like to be here in the basketball environment. What are some key things that you see need to happen to get back there?
Obviously, recruiting. You have to get as much competition at each spot as possible to make the players better. They're good, but when you have somebody pushing you every day, it's a different level of focus that you bring to the practice floor, and it raises everybody's level. So obviously, you gotta get the best talent. You gotta recruit hard. You gotta get great players. Like I said, you gotta get the Nico Harrisons, Quadres. You gotta get guys like that that are game changers. And Nate Homesteads. He was my roommate. And he scored so many points, it's crazy. Just went to the Hall of Fame. Hopefully, I can find more guys like that. But you got to recruit, and then I think that's the main thing. And then developing them. Once they get here, the player development piece is going to be huge. If they were already developed, they go to Pac-12 schools. I want to get kids that have Pac-12 talent, that by the time they're juniors, they can play anywhere in the Pac-12. And it will go back to me and my staff developing in the weight room, off the court, and then especially on the court. But build their bodies up, teach them how to eat, nutrition, little things like that, and how hard you have to practice. Because a lot of high school kids and even JC kids that come in, they don't know what this level's all about. It's an adjustment, and the quicker we can get over that adjustment, the quicker we're going to be a really competitive program.
I'm sure you thought a lot about it, but do you have a definitive recruiting plan in terms of territories where you might want to draw kids from, or like you said, you want to find the right type of kid? So what is the right type of kid?
Yeah.
Where do they come from?
Yeah, we have to recruit internationally. We got to recruit everywhere. Me and my staff, we're going to have contacts internationally. We're going to have contact. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Toronto. My guys in Toronto, I know they're listening, and they told me I better mention them. But they're going to help us. There's some very good players, and we've had some at Fullerton that were all conference type guys that came from Toronto. It's a hot spot. I don't care where they're at. If they have a passion to come to Montana State and get a great education and play the way we want to play, I really don't care where they're at. But I have JC connections all over the country. I have high school connections. Our best player at Fullerton this year, one of them was from Brooklyn, New York. There's a lot of Division I schools between Brooklyn, New York, and Anaheim, California, Fullerton, California. And so, you just have to trust your gut when you're recruiting kids. And if you think a kid can play, it doesn't matter if he's a 2-star, 3-star, 5-star. If he catches my eye, that's all I trust. I trust my gut.
So you mentioned getting players here that want to play the way you want to play. What exactly is the way you want to play on offense or defense, or totally in shape this team?
Yeah, offensively, I want to play fast. I told the guys in the team meeting, if we get a stop or a turnover, the first 6 seconds is theirs. They can do whatever they want. Push the ball, throw it up, shoot. I want them to play free. I don't want them, I told them the best way to get taken out of the game is if you turn the ball over or miss a shot and look over at me. I want them playing free. I don't want them thinking, oh, is coach going to take me out, and not using their natural instincts, because that's what the best players do. They don't worry about the coach, they just play. Don't worry about the officials. And I'm going to, that's one of the biggest parts of the culture that I want to get, is getting those guys playing like that. And I want them really pulling for each other, the guys on the bench. It doesn't like pulling for the guys on the floor. It's a team for a reason. Guys got to pick each other up. But we're going to play fast. We'll run a lot of set plays. A lot of the stuff that we did at Northridge and Fullerton. You got to get your scores the ball. You got guys like Tyler Hall, Harold Frey, and DK. All these guys, you got to find where they're comfortable on the floor, and you got to get them the ball in those comfortable spots. And their game's just going to be enhanced exponentially, if you do that. But defensively, we're going to be a tough man-to-man team. We're not going to be out pressuring and denying, being crazy. I think with the rule changes, it favors the offense nowadays. And so I think you have to pick your spots pressuring. But we're also going to have a 1-3-1 that I got from Northridge, and we ran it at Fullerton. It was pretty successful for us. There's a lot of different things we can do out of that. We're going to press. I think there's times when you're down 8 to 10 points and you got to flip a game. And I think the crowd likes it. It makes everybody play a little bit faster, and it gives you a little more energy when you press. So we'll be changing defenses quite a bit.
What's the first change that you're going to make?
First change. That's a great question. I want to sit down with all the players, and like I said, I want to sit down with the staff and just kind of see where I go from there first. Obviously, getting a staff here is my main priority. As quick as I can get a couple guys on campus, that's what I want to do, because these guys got to feel us. School's out in a month, and we got to reestablish some relationships in that next month, which is going to be huge. So I think, the first change is obviously getting the staff here. And then obviously I got to have some team meetings with the players and kind of see what they're thinking and what their goals are and things like that.
With 2 open scholarships right now heading into next year, I guess, is there anything specific we can tell, or is it kind of everybody after that, kind of go through that evaluation?
I can't specific, but I have a plan for kids I want to bring in. I like guys that can score the ball. I like guys that can score the ball at a high level. I want skilled guys, kind of like Coach Durham used to recruit, guys that can dribble, catch, pass, shoot, have good IQ and good feel for the game, and guys that can make their teammates better. But I want guys that can make shots. Obviously you have to have an athletic portion to you also, to compete and guard and play the other half of the floor. But I want guys that can score the ball.
What do you think is the biggest obstacle you face in Montana State?
I think just reestablishing the standard that was built. It's not easy, and it's going to be a ton of work, but getting these guys to believe in me, our staff, in themselves, when the game's a 2-point game, 5 minutes, we're winning the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We got to find a way to get it done. And I think football's gotten to that point. You see a lot of close games, they pretty much win them all now. And that's the goal I have for the basketball program.
Back to the guys that you played with, so many of those guys are still so close to the program. You're one of the only ones that's coaching. So what's the feedback been like the last 24 hours or so after you was announced you're the guy?
They've all reached out by text. We're all on a text thread. They're excited because there's a connection. There's a genuine connection. They know I love them. They love me, and I know whatever I need for this program, they're going to be there. And I have no doubt calling any of them at any day. Could be 4 in the morning. Mike Elliott, Quadrant, they'll answer the phone. Kevin Black, who's here, he'll answer the phone. And that's just the connection that we have. And I think that's what makes this place special.